I'm calling this the biggest update ever for CS investing, and that's a pretty high standard considering last time I made about a 1000% profit, and that's not even the maximum that there is. Today we're going to be breaking down everything about this update, talking about it from an investment perspective, but first up we gotta break it down. Now I'm not going to go too deep into what specifically has been brought because that's just not my channel. We're here to talk about the investing portion, and we're going to be doing that and talking about that past update after a quick word from our sponsor Market CSGO. The sponsor for today's video is MarketCSGO.com. They're a peer-to-peer CSGO marketplace. They've currently got over 100,000 daily trades, and they've got a brand new slick design to help you find those skins. They've got a couple very useful features, and it's super easy to list your skins. All you have to do is go ahead and get their market app client, which is going to prevent you from getting scammed, and then you can go ahead and list your skins very easily. And if you're looking to buy skins on the site, they've got tons of different deposit options, and if you want to take out that money you just got by selling your skins, they've also got a ton of different withdrawal options you can use. And running right now on the website, they've got an exclusive 30 knife giveaway. All you have to do to join is click that top link in the description and get started today. Now, talking about that previous biggest update ever, that's what happened in June of 2021. They got rid of the non-prime drop pool. A lot of easy money was there to be made, and I think it's a very similar situation talking about the CS2 update here. First off, talking about the cases. Cases are a very interesting dynamic. Pretty much every case has gone up. If we want to look at the general trends over on Esports Fire, you can see here the constant increase of these cases is quite apparent when you look towards that right side of the graph, but I want to break down a couple specifically. First one is the dreams and nightmares. This has been the biggest anomaly out of all of them because it's in the active drop pool. Now, the active drop pool are those cases that are currently being dropped when you play the game. There's 5 of them, and generally speaking, these ones don't really shoot up in price, but rather either stagnate or slowly go down in price because there's a ton of them out there, and even though they're being unboxed at a very increased rate, there's usually just too many of them dropping and too many people trying to sell them for that price to ever go anywhere. But we've seen something very interesting. The dreams and nightmares case has gone up significantly, which is something we just don't usually see for active duty cases, especially to this extent. Now, talking about the why for cases, this is the easiest why we got out there, and that's just because skins look really good. If we want to look at so many different skins that are inside of cases, the new rendering process allows so many cases the opportunity for growth because the skins inside of them, and especially those skins inside of them that were a little bit desirable before but are now so desirable, something like the carved jade. It's not in a specific case, so it's not the greatest example, but this thing looks absolutely amazing now when beforehand it was really just a below average skin that was green. When the skin prices inside of the cases all go up, it leaves a really easy opportunity for the case prices to go up, and that's exactly what we've been seeing overall, but especially inside of the dreams and nightmares case. Moving on over to capsules, there's been a ton of talk about this because it's such a very interesting topic. If we want to talk about the 3 major capsules, which are RMR, Antwerp, and Stockholm, there has been a huge change for RMR. RMR capsules have really gone up in price because of the stickers inside of them. The stickers inside of them from Mahalo have completely changed. In my opinion, I'm still not a fan because I'm not a big fan of that background, but I can definitely see why they are desirable now. If you want to look at them, they look absolutely amazing, and for a capsule that's got a ton in supply, was relatively cheap, and for the most part, the most accessible capsule to use in CSGO, it's no question why the price has started to go up for it. If we want to translate that over to Antwerp and Stockholm as well, these stickers also look really good. Even though you didn't think it could get better, it does get better, and that's why we're seeing Stockholm capsules at $10 a piece, which is absolutely crazy, and Antwerp is sitting at $1.50 a piece, which is also a very large increase for these capsules, and something that I think definitely has a little bit more future moving forward. And especially when more and more people are able to get into CS2, these ones could also increase a little bit more, but don't specifically invest because I said that. Now, talking about knives and high tier items, this is absolutely insane. A group of items that I generally avoid because they don't really see a major increase have seen one of the biggest increases of them all. If we want to look at these high tier items right here, it's not exclusively knives, it's more of just the more high tier items, and it's definitely on the more expensive side, but you can see how crazy these price increases are considering we're talking about 700, 800, it's in euros, who cares? That's still a ton of money. If we want to talk about Doppler finishes in general, they are all up a ton. If we want to look at the cheapest Doppler out there, the gut knife Doppler, it's up 25%. The cheapest Doppler out there that looks relatively ugly in my opinion opinion. It's not the greatest gut knife. It's still up 25%. These Doppler phases are going absolutely insane, and that's because they all look so good. I mean, before we definitely had a major difference between the Sapphire, the Ruby, and then the general 1 through 4 phases, but now the 1 through 4 phases look absolutely amazing, and they're knives that I think are going to be coming very, very apparent in the future because so many people are going to want them because they look so good. I'm not talking about the why for those knives, because we've seen these things gather so much demand in such a short period of time. We've seen the price go astronomically high compared to what we relatively think it should be sitting at. You combine that with the fact that most of these are coming from really old cases. That's something I think that's being really overlooked at this time, and we get to where we're at today. But sticking on that topic of knives, we got 2 new potential knives coming into the game, which is a very interesting development considering we haven't really received new knives in a while. It's actually been a heck of a long time since we've seen new knives, and this is something that usually is either coming with an operation or potentially a new case, so that's good news either way considering both of those things are, at least in my opinion, very beneficial and very fun for the game. Now, talking about new cases, there's 3 things I want to hit on, 2 of which are in the code. The first one is going to be a brand new pins capsule, not anything serious, anything too crazy. We've got 3 in the game right now. They generally don't garner a lot of interest. The other 2, much more interesting. First one has to do with agents. As you can see in the tweet here, Valve were experimenting or potentially in the doing and making so of an agent's case, capsule, package, whatever you want to call it. It's very interesting. Unfortunately, in the tweet here, we don't know how old this file is, but the other thing, the last one, which is the most interesting, is potentially a Zeus case. Now, this is because the Zeus recently got a feature where you could go ahead and inspect it, and why would they spend all this time focusing on the Zeus, especially with that brand new animation when you zap somebody? I think this is definitely something leading up to a very important update for the Zeus in terms of a skin or whatever to give it a little bit more interest and a little bit more money for Valve, as always. And all of that leads us back to the main question of making profit with this. I think there's a lot of different opportunities out there with this. There's so many different ways you can go. Just a couple of them that have recently been on my mind is, one, the acid fade is up extremely high, looking into that, potentially looking at potential alternatives or something like that. Or if we want to talk about the map rotation, right now we've obviously got 7 maps in there, but Valve has just went through the effort of redesigning and pretty much rebuilding from the ground up some of these brand new maps. And why would they keep the current map rotation? Especially when we look at souvenir packages, some of these souvenir packages for these maps are not bought at all. And when we look at Dust 2 and Mirage, the 2 most popular ones, Dust 2 is now gone. For me, coming to that overall conclusion that there could be some brand new collections coming from multiple maps, not this major, but potentially removed right after this major, and you could capitalize off some profit there like we saw for the Rio packages and so on and so forth. There are a lot of different opportunities like that, and I think there's more than enough different ways you can go with this to make a significant amount of profit because the opportunities are endless, at least at this point. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.